Group 3, and for our project we will be discussing about oil pollution both as a whole and in context of the United Kingdom. Today we will be going through the following topics: oil pollution in general, causes of oil pollution, impacts of oil pollution, how oil pollution can be reduced, and what is currently being done to address this issue. So, what exactly is oil and oil pollution? Oil is a chemical substance that is a viscous liquid at ambient temperatures and is both hydrophobic and lipophilic. Oils have a high carbon and hydrogen content and are usually flammable and surface active. Most oils are unsaturated lipids that are liquid at room temperature. It is usually used for food, religious purposes, or fuel, amongst other things. Now, what about crude oil? Crude oil, on the other hand, is a fossil fuel that is used to make a wide range of fuels and products. It is found below ground or below the ocean floor in reservoirs, where oil droplets reside in pores or holes in the rock. After drilling down and pumping out the crude oil companies transport it by pipes, ships, trucks, or trains to processing plants called refineries. There, the oil is refined so that it can be made into different petroleum products, including gasoline and other fuels, as well as products like asphalt, plastics, soaps, and paints. What is oil pollution then? By definition, it means the contamination of any ecosystem, but usually of freshwater or marine ecosystems, by oil or other petroleum products. Today, we will be focusing on oil pollution in water bodies. Oceans are polluted by oil on a daily basis from oil spills, routine shipping, runoffs, and dumping. Oil spills cause a very localized problem but can be catastrophic to local marine wildlife such as fish, birds, and sea otters. As they are hydrophobic, as previously mentioned, it cannot dissolve in water and thus forms a thick sludge in water. Currently, the world consumes 88 million barrels of oil daily, which is a lot of oil use.
This section will be on the causes of oil pollution. Oil pollution is caused by several things, including the spillage of crude oil and its products. Sometimes, pipeline ruptures or well blowouts will cause oil to spill over into the sea, which isn't very ideal. I'll explain in the next slide. However, the most damaging spillages occur on disabled tankers and drill platforms at sea. That happens when accidents such as faulty equipment malfunctioning occur. Other causes of oil spills include mistakes made due to being careless, broken or malfunctioning equipment, natural disasters, illegal dumpsters, or countries at war. The main cause of oil pollution in the UK are oil spills. The UK experienced 7 major oil spills such as the Brea in 1993, which spilled 85,000 tons of crude oil into the sea, and the Sea Empress, which spilled 72,000 tons of crude oil into the sea.
What are the impacts of oil pollution? For environmental impacts, oil pollution prevents sunlight from penetrating the surface of water bodies, reduces the level of dissolved oxygen, and damages the insulating and waterproofing properties of feather and fur of certain animals. And thus, oil-coated birds and marine mammals such as seals may die from hypothermia due to losing the protective capabilities of their coats. Oil which has been consumed by animals can also be toxic to them and other animals such as their predators. Damage to habitats and plants are severe as well. For specific impacts upon the United Kingdoms, oil pollution pollutes beaches and populated shoreline, in which the UK has 12,429 kilometers of. The fishing industry of the UK is also interrupted by oil pollution to prevent damage to fishing boats and equipment and to ensure that the fish caught is not polluted. When polluted fish is eaten, it could cause health problems in those consuming the fish. Not only that, business owners and people rely on oil and the oil industry for their livelihood.
So, what can we do? All transporters can make sure not to overfill fuel tanks. Use oil absorption pads in the bottom of all boats with inboard engines. Regularly inspect through hull fittings often to reduce risk of sinking. Recycle used oil and filters. Routinely inspect storage tanks as required by law. Use automatic nozzle shutoffs to reduce the potential for overfilling fuel tanks. Set up an oil recycling program to deliver all oil to designated collection sites. Keep spill control equipment readily available. Properly dispose of used oil and fuel absorption materials. The government can establish laws for mandatory safety checkups, introduce laws that require facilities to develop oil spill control systems, enforce tougher regulations on cars to avoid unnecessary oil usage or wastage. People like you and me can use less products made from crude oil, use public transportation instead of personal vehicles, and consume less electricity at home.
So, what is currently being done to deal with oil pollution right now? In the UK, the Office of Response and Restoration's mission is to develop scientific solutions to keep the coast clean from threats of oil, chemicals, and marine debris. In 2019, there have been 133 incident responses, 5,513 metric tons of marine debris removed, as well as 2,314 people trained in preparedness and response. The office has also spent 28 million in restoration funds. In 2020, there was an increase in the number of incident responses and people trained in preparedness and response, but from 133 to 200 and 2,314 to 4,016 respectively. The office also had 4,989 metric tons of marine debris removed and spent 2.2 million in restoration funds. Other strategies/solutions include stopping the flow of leaking oil by placing a bucket under the leak, using a sandbag to stop the oil from flowing into water bodies if the oil spill is on land, using oil boats which act as a fence to stop oil from spreading further, then using oil scoops to recover the oil, burning the oil. However, this causes more pollution such as air pollution, hence is not an ideal option. Bioremediation, the method of using specific microorganisms to break down petroleum into simpler non-toxic substances. Adding fertilizers to the area so the microbes can grow and multiply faster is another option. Using elastomers to chemically stabilize the oil to stop it from spreading by turning into gelatin, and letting nature do its work and monitor the situation. Here are our sources. The end. Thank you for watching.